Hi and a very warm welcome to Frugalfull. My name's Lara and this is a frugal living and budget lifestyle channel. And guess what day it is today? It's Cheesecake Day, hooray! So in a video earlier in the year, I was having a chat about making some raw desserts using recipes from this book here. It's called Annie's Raw Food Kitchen, and I so far have made lemon and coconut bars, see previous video, with mixed success. However, I'd made those in the past and they were really turned out well with the consistency that time, but both times the flavour's been awesome. And there are so many super delicious sounding raw foodie recipes in this book. So I got it off the bookshelf a few months ago and thought, do you know what? I'd love to try some of these recipes again. And summertime's a great time. So we had a wee thing in the comments below that video where people were voting which dessert they'd like me to make first in June. So in July and August, the other two desserts will be made. But today is the winner, which is cheesecake, a raw cheesecake. So the ingredients are, it should be macadamia nuts, but I couldn't get them anywhere. So I've got cashew nuts, sea salt, pitted dates. Now I couldn't get dates anywhere. So I have a mixture here over here. I've got figs, prunes and dried apricots. So I'm not quite sure what combination of them will be used yet. Shredded coconut. So that's the crust ingredients. The filling ingredients are cashews, again, lemon juice made from 6 fresh lemons, check, and then either agave syrup or honey. So I'm going to use honey because I've got some left over to use up. Coconut oil. It says here a vanilla bean. I'm going to use vanilla extract, vanilla essence. So, and then also water. So I'm sticking to the recipe as closely as I'm able to, but there are a couple of slight differences. Those are the ingredients, and I'll put the quantities up while I'm talking to you during this part of the video, if I haven't done so already as I've been talking. Future editing video me will assist. And as far as the directions, well, you'll see that happen as it's made. I'm going to turn this around in a second and show you the ingredients, and also I'll tot up how much I spent. So I've highlighted the things that apply, that were ingredients bought for this recipe. I'm going to have to kind of estimate because, for example, with the lemon, oh no, actually with the lemons, no, because I just decided to use the fresh ones and not freeze. I was going to, oh, cracked my neck. Ow, so sore. I was going to use some lemons out of the freezer and only buy 1 lemon. But anyway, so no, lemons is not a good example. Let me think of another example. Okay, the coconut oil. I'm not going to be using this entire thing, so I'll work out how much of this 500 ml I'm using so that I can tell you how much I spent on the ingredients specific for the recipe approximately. The same goes with the nuts, the dried fruit and the shredded coconut. I think they're the ones that it applies for. I already had the vanilla extract and I already had the salt and the honey, and I already had the cashews, but what I'm going to do is, oh no, I had one of the packs of cashews. But what I'll do is, though, I'm going to work out how much it would cost to buy the ingredients needed to make it. I'm not going to say zero if I already had stuff. I'll work out the price for the entire thing, if that makes sense. So I'll turn this around and show you. The other thing is, so right now for me is a no spend week as far as my £25 a week food and essentials, household cleaning, toiletries, and kind of things like paracetamol. I'm on a no spend week, complete no spend week for that right now. But with one exception, I got this message through I got this message through from Lidl. I have a Lidl Plus app, which is available in the UK, probably in other. Tell us in the comments if you have Lidl Plus and you're out with the UK, if you have that app for your phone, because I know Lidl are nationwide, which is awesome. Really good value for money food compared to other supermarkets, I think. And the quality is decent as well. And it's a decent selection of foods to choose from. I like Lidl quite a bit. So, but yeah, so I got this message through on the Lidl Plus app saying you have a £1 voucher. So the conditions to use the voucher are spend £1, get £1 off. Like the sound of that. So they do an unsweetened soya milk that I use a lot, and it's 50p for a litre. So I'm going to head out for a walk soon and go via Lidl, go and get 2 cartons of Lidl unsweetened soya milk for £1, except it will be free because it'll be the £1 voucher, yippee! So in future Tuesday videos, I'll go into the spend for June, how much all these different food shops and things came to, the sinking funds, etc. And there's also going to be, watch this space, there will also be a video sort of for halfway through this no and low spend year, how things have been going. And just, yeah, just reflecting on that really, and thinking about what I've learned from it so far, lessons learned to take forward into the next 6 months, how it may be adapted, etc. So that will all come in due course. Right, I'm going to show you these. Here are the ingredients. The cashews, lemons, the different dried fruit. As I say, not sure exactly which ones yet, but we can have a look at that when I get back. The shredded coconut, salt, honey and lemons. Those are all the ingredients. So when I get back, then let's get cooking, or raw cooking. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm excited to try this cheesecake. Guess what? There's somebody. There she is. She's so funny. So, I decided to do the... Get your Bella. I decided to do the calculation before starting. Oh, this is really disorientating. I'm going to turn this around. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I had it so the wee camera bit's there, but it was over here, and it was really disorientating because I'm not... Oh, she's looking up. She's wondering what I'm pointing at. Bless you. Yeah, I'm used to always looking to the left, so that was really strange. Okay, I've got my bearings back. So I'm super excited to make this with you today because we've been talking about it or writing about it for a wee while, like at least a month I think, and it sounds really delicious. It's a raw cheesecake, which is something I've never experienced before. I got organised and I worked out the total cost for the whole cake before starting this section of the video, because I've had, since the last bit, I've had a walk and things. But I got a bit of a shock that it's £11.25 to make this cake. So I hope it's very, very, very good. At that price per cake, it's not something I'm planning to really make very often. Maybe as a gift for a very special occasion or something. But it's probably not something I would make regularly, but I would be really interested to know if there's a cheaper way to do it. I think the nuts, 3 packets of cashews, I think has really bumped the price up, and if it wasn't for that, it would make it a lot cheaper. What actually came in really handy is not long back I'd actually bought a reduced price cheesecake from the supermarket, a non-raw one I should add, which was £1.75, so it was just over a tenth of the price of this. But what's very handy is this calls for a dish called a springform pan, which I don't have, but luckily I still had the packaging and the recycling for this, the cheesecake, so this can act as our springform pan. It says a 9-inch one, so I reckon that's roughly a 9-inch one, so it should be suitable, so let's go for it. Oh, so Madam has decided, she got bored and decided to stop watching. I think because she knows she's not getting anything for her belly. Right, first of all we're going to use the milling blade to mill these cashews. They would be macadamias if I could have found them. So I'm going to process these, oh, with the salt. Good thing I checked. So I've pre-measured the salt. Let's lob that in. Spilled a tiny bit, but should be fine. Right, I will go and process this. I don't actually have any power on this side of the kitchen. The kitchen is probably medium to long-term work in progress. Still have a lot to be done, including the electrics. I've only got one power source in the kitchen, which is over here. So back in a second. That milling blade is amazing. Gosh, it really pulverised that. Fantastic. It's my first ever time using the milling blade and I'm really impressed. Look at the consistency of these cashews. Super. Right, it says slowly add the dates and mix well. I don't know if it means mix well in here or if it means mix well manually. I'm not sure. I think the safest option, because I want to keep the milling, go away fruit fly. I think the safest thing is, because for the filling I probably used a milling blade and I don't want to clog it up. So I think I'll use the other blade if I can remember where oh, here it is. I think I'll use this blade to do the dried fruit. Now I went for the apricots. They're so delicious. To try one or two from the pack because I only used what the recipe calls for that I mentioned earlier. These I felt were the most sugar saved. I felt these are the most similar to what the pitted dates would be. Plus they'll be very delicious. So they all go in. I really hope I'm not going to regret this. So I'm going to go and blend this and I hope it won't spoil this and clog this up. Let's give it a shot. I've got mixed results from that. Okay, so it worked like a charm, which is great, but there's a slight funny smell coming from my NutriBullet and I really hope I haven't just burned the motor out, because otherwise this cheesecake is going to be an even more expensive cake, the most expensive cake ever. I've had this NutriBullet for years, but I don't use it very often, so it's in almost like new condition. I just really hope I haven't broken it. Yeah, there's a weird smell. I'm gonna just, by the time I'm ready to use it for the next bit, it should have had a chance to settle. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to use it to mix dates like that ever again. It's one thing doing the milling, it worked really well for that, but I think it was unhappy with that. Hopefully I've not caused any damage to the thing and it will recover. Next stage is we put the shredded coconut. I guess we'll find out when it comes to the next use later in this video. So fingers crossed. Right, so the next stage is layering the bottom with the, it looks like this is a perfect size because that has layered along the bottom perfectly. Next, adding the crust. This is the crust mix. So we're going to add this, press press it in. Can you see? Hang on. Yeah, there we go. So, oh wow, the consistency's great for this. Lovely. Oh, it does, I have to admit, it does smell delicious. On this side of the kitchen, I can't smell the NutriBullet. All I can smell is this yummy mix. And it does definitely smell really, really good. Glad I switched to this blade as well, because it means I don't have to think about washing that until later. Oh, it's a nice consistency, this. I just don't think the milk, I don't think the NutriBullet is powerful enough. But if you had a more powerful food processor, that would work like a charm. What can I use to squish this down? Let's see. Do you know something? As strange as it might seem, I'm going to use this pestle. Yeah, that's working quite well because it's not sticking. This is too sticky. It does look really tasty. And I'm so looking forward to trying the other recipes with you as well over the next couple of months. So I think the next one, when I do a cakey video, which will probably be in 4 weeks' time, will be the orange spiced bars. They came second in the voting because there was the lemon coconut bar video and we redid the voting for the second and third desserts. So it'll be the spiced orange bars and then it will be the raw, because these are all from the raw book. The raw book. Oh, I love the look of that. So the third one will be a raw carrot cake. So next we're doing the filling. Blend cashews, lemon juice, agave, coconut oil and vanilla. Alright, I really hope I'm not going to cause any damage here. Further damage to the cake. I'll do one pack at a time. Fingers crossed. I'll report back to you in a sec. Okay, lots of stopping and starting. Now the good news is there's still a bit of pulverising of some of the cashews, but that'll happen as I add the liquidy ingredients, I hope. But thankfully the NutriBullet has managed to withstand that, which is a relief, I have to admit. I definitely don't have it in the budget to be buying another NutriBullet. It's a luxury I bought years ago. So I think what I'll do, you know something, I actually kind of regret not just doing a half and half with this, just because of the capacity limit of the NutriBullet. Oh, it's nice and soft, this, which is great. Okay, I have never tried something where coconut oil makes a cheesecake cream. I'm really curious to see how this turns out. It's exciting. Quite an expensive experiment actually. It's probably not the most frugal thing in the world, but having said that, if you were doing something like a wedding cake or a special birthday cake or something and you needed, I haven't done these two yet, I've still got these and some of that. Okay, I'm just keeping track. If you were doing something like a special wedding or birthday cake and you wanted to do it, like give the personal touch rather than hiring or paying for a professional to make a cake, and you just wanted to do something a bit special, and maybe the person is a raw foodie person, then, which is a very specific set of circumstances, but there could definitely be occasions where it would be worth spending that, just or for a really special indulgent treat. Right, let's go. So far so good. Oh wow, look, it's so creamy looking. Okay, so this is, oh wow, look. Oh my goodness. Right, I'm going to just keep working away. I'm not going to taste it, as tempting as it is. I'm going to keep adding, gradually adding, blending, adding, blending. I'll be back soon once it's ready to put on here. 2 wee minutes. So I'm just about to finish adding and mixing in the final ingredient, which is the honey. So there probably would be a way to use, ow, I'm getting sore. There probably would be a way to use raw honey or something like that, but I don't have that. I'm just using up what I had in the fridge. So I suppose it's not 100% raw because this honey's not raw, but other than that it's raw. I was thinking too about the price per cake. So if you had a party and you wanted to make something real, like a dinner party or something, or you were going to a party or something and everyone brings a course and you wanted to make something really special, then yeah, it could be worth it for that too. Like, when I think about it, going out to a cafe or a restaurant and having lunch with friends, or going out, for coffee and cake, it's easily like £4 or £5 or even £6 sometimes. But you could easily spend half the cost of this whole cake just on a slice of cake. Oh, sugar. Oh, I'm glad I did that actually, because I've just remembered the water. I'm only going to add a little bit at a time of that and just monitor what's needed. But yeah, if you went out and had cake out, it'd be easily the price of half the cost of that cake. So I guess it just depends. It depends on what you value spending your money on. How much are you willing to spend on cake? How much of your budget and what price are you willing to place on it, I guess. I suppose, where did I put, oh here it is. I suppose knowing that it's possible to get super bargainous cake from the supermarket, to me that makes me reluctant to spend this kind of money on cake really, unless it's for a very special occasion. But doesn't mean to say it's not worth doing. It's just down to personal taste, no pun intended. Right, I'll blast this. Right, time for plan B. So this is now so full. You see, that's lovely and creamy already, but it's way too runny. I think what I'll do is that's smooth, so I'm just going to decant that. Yeah. So what happened was, it's too full, and the NutriBullet started making a very scary sound, like an angry motor. And I thought, uh-oh. So I just had to abandon mission for a minute, and I thought if I just decrease the volume of this. Now what I'll do, continuing to avoid the temptation of licking my fingers here, because that's what I would normally do, or taste it from the spoon or something. But what I will do is just give that one last wee blast. I'm not actually going to add any water, because to me that seems quite liquidy. I don't think it needs it, but it should let me just actually think on. What would be quite handy is a really long spoon. Right, I think I've got enough, because it probably gets into the grooves up at the top. Right, let's give that a whirl. And there's enough fluid that the last of the cashews should break up as well. Right. And then I can just mix it all together in here or here, because it was starting to spill out of the sides, and it's much less risky to do it this way. The NutriBullet was seriously grumbling there. I'm not going to push my luck. I'll deal with the messiness and be back shortly. Okay, I think this is as good as we're going to get. There's a couple of slight cashewy bits that didn't quite scoop those out. I'll just eat them later. The great thing is, because it's raw, mind you, when you're doing baking with eggs and things, I still eat the mix out the bowl anyway. I've never had food poisoning yet from doing that, but because it's raw, it's not going to be a problem to do that. Oh Bella, I'll feed you again in a wee while. She's been definitely a bit better at night, because my recent video about the frugal housework and that kind of stuff, I had a bit of a rant about Bella pestering me at night for food, but she's definitely settled down. She is still waking me sometimes, but we're getting into, oh wow, there's a lot more bits of nuts than I thought. Oh dear. What I might do is reintroduce those in a second. This could take a wee while. Yeah, I'm just reintroducing her to some new routines and hoping that that's going to do the trick. This is a bit footery. Wow. I don't know whether my Nutribullet's just got to the point it's not willing anymore or what, but I think what I'll do is I'll deal with this in return soon so that the video doesn't get too long with lots of bits of me just pulling out the cashews. at long last. Oh my goodness, that took quite a bit of effort. So there are a couple of stray ones, but I'm not going to push my NutriBullet any harder. I think it's done pretty well. It's got the vast majority of that has been pulverized into like a kind of cashew coconut cream. I'm just thinking I'll just do one last texture check, and then I'm going to put it all back in here because I need the space that's in here to sort it. Wow, do you know something? It probably doesn't need to be this messy. I'm messy in the kitchen at the best of times, but this kind of thing, oh, I get super messy. But hey ho, it can all get clean, can't it? So, oh, I think I just stood in a blob of cashew cream though. I'll have to watch where I put my feet, take the slipper socks off. So what kind of desserts do you enjoy making? Please let us know in the comments. And thanks so much for being here today, and hope that your June, and if you're doing a low spend June, then I hope your low spend June is going super well, that you've been able to keep on track. It would be really great to hear about that. And are any of you doing a low or no spend year also? Because that would be super to hear about too. And if you have recently begun exploring frugality, budgeting, and it's still kind of fairly new to you, then thank you for checking out the channel and a warm welcome. And I hope you find the videos to do with low and no spend on the Thrifty Tuesdays helpful. But also just to say there are so many other fantastic channels out there connected to budgeting and frugality. So I did do a video a wee while back, and it was about some really fantastic frugal related channels that I recommend. But there are so many others. I mean, it's great that there is a frugal community on YouTube. There are a lot of like-minded people, which is fantastic. So, oh my god. Oh, it seems a shame to waste that blob. I would normally just eat it, as I say. But I'm going to transfer all that lot into there, and then it's going to go on top of the mix, the base mix. And then it's going to go in the freezer, and then apparently I have to take it out of the freezer an hour before serving. So sped up version of Lara will see to that all just now, and I'll be back a bit later on once it's frozen and then had an hour defrosting. See you soon. So, got quite a lot of cleaning cleaning and dishes to do while that freezes, but just to say as well, there's been an interesting turn of events. I'm sure that that is a 9-inch equivalent for the spring pan or whatever it's called. And I'd imagine, I mean, it seems like a pretty standard cheesecake depth to me. Interestingly though, I've still got half the mix left. Wow. So, I think what I'll do is I think I'll freeze the other half, and in the future I could make another cheesecake, and all I'll have to do is make the base, but I'm not going to be using the NutriBullet for the dates or whatever it is again. I'll have to find another method, or maybe try using my, I don't think my hand blender would do very well, or maybe I would pre-chop the dates next time and try that. But how good. So actually it turns out that it's not going to be $11.25 for the whole cake really. Like, I only needed half of this mix for the filling, so it actually comes out under that, which is a nice surprise. But no, I'll not waste that cheesecake filling. I might even use the cheesecake filling and experiment with a different base. But it's good, it'll just be there to use at some point in the future. I'll let you know in a video in the future what I end up doing with the spare cheesecake filling. But I probably would do a different base for it. Oops. So yeah, so that was a nice surprise. Anyway, I better get cleaning and I'll be back in a few hours.
The long-awaited moment is here. Hooray! I'm so... Oops, I just accidentally... Oh! It's a little bit messy now, but look at that. I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. I was slightly concerned that the... I'm going to swap hands because that hurts. 2 seconds. I was a bit concerned that the cheesecake topping cream stuff was going to be far too runny. I suppose freezing will have helped with that, but it looks really good. Actually, I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to cut this so I've got both hands free. Right, I'm back again. I've cut it into slices. I am going to be naughty and have a 6th slice. That's got my name on it, that slice. But I've cut it to show what it would be like as 8ths. So if it was cut into 8ths, it's actually only between £1.39 and £1.40 a slice, if you think of it that way. So it's still far cheaper than it would be to have a portion of cake and a coffee in a cafe or something. Definitely. So it's reasonable value, I guess. But I can't wait to try and see what it tastes like. Let's do this. Just before the taste test, I wanted to show you how beautifully it's come out. That was just me being very messy. But look at that, it's come out good and clean. The texture looks fantastic. I love the look of that. The coconut didn't really stick to the bottom. I think it's just there so that the whole thing doesn't end up sticking to the bottom of the tub. But what I've done is I've just sprinkled some of the coconut over the top. Let's turn you round and we'll have a taste. Okay, here goes. Mm. 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 Wow. Oh, I love that. It tastes amazing. I've never tasted a cheesecake with so much going on in a good way.
The base is so sweet. It's a lovely texture. It's sweet, but it's not sickly sweet. And this topping part, oh, it tastes amazing. I love this. I recommend this. It's so fresh. It's like, it's got a lovely zinginess from the lemon. I can't strongly taste the vanilla, but there's a beautiful balance because there's the lemoniness, there's a sweetness, there's the gorgeous creamy texture. It's really lovely. I would describe this as a lemon cheesecake though, because the lemon does come through enough to describe it as a lemon cheesecake. It's really, really lovely. And yeah, it's just so fresh. And it doesn't taste sugary, you know, that way that sometimes, like sometimes if things are shop bought, they can be very sugar laden and sickly sweet. So this is very sweet, but to me it's not sickly sweet. It's just, it just feels so nourishing, and it just feels really, really satisfying with every bite. I'm so happy to have tried this. It was a bit footery at times. It's been well worth the effort though. And if you're someone who's a big cheesecake fan and you like the idea of trying a raw type of cheesecake just to see what it's like, or you're sort of into health foods and things in general, and budget wise you're happy to go for that price range that I've shown you. Also though, if you have bought nuts in bulk, then that's going to bring the cost per slice or cake way down. But I do, if you're happy to make the effort to make it and to put the money in, not that it's a huge amount really, but yeah, I definitely think it is worth it to make something that bit special. Like I would definitely do this if I was making a cake for someone who loves cheesecakes for a party or some special occasion. I would definitely do this again. Yeah, it tastes absolutely awesome. If you decide to make it, I hope you thoroughly enjoy it. I know I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this slice. I'm going to get that kettle on, get a decaf, or maybe a wee cup of tea, and that will be a lovely, lovely thing to just indulge in on this slow cooker and budget savvy snacks Sunday. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I do apologise because it's actually ended up being a very long video, and for some reason while it's been defrosting, I started working on editing it, and it's really strange because there's a chunk of the video where for some reason the picture is kind of smaller, but it's only for part of what's within a video, so I can't make it bigger. It's really, really strange. So sorry about the slight technical issues and also the length of time and me blah blah blah. But thank you for sticking with me, and also thank you for all the lovely comments, likes, subscriptions, subscribers, you know what I mean. Thanks a million. Take care. See you again very soon. Next time is it's Tuesday, yeah, because it's not going to be Thursday, Saturday this week. It's going to be a Tuesday, Friday. So watch this space. I'll explain why in the next video. See you soon. Very best wishes. Bye.